Shalom. First and foremost, giving all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakha HaKodash. Yahweh being the only true, powerful, and holy name of who you even refer to as God, and in likewise manner, Yahweh Shah is the only true, powerful, and holy name of his only begotten Son, who you ignorantly refer to as Jesus Christ. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone, rule well in peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the Lord's elect. It's the brother Yeshai, part of Men of Valor, South Carolina. And this lesson right here is going to be based off of, denying your flesh, man. Okay? We have to deny our flesh in this walk, okay? Because, this flesh is and ourselves pretty much, but our flesh is pretty much the number one enemy that us brothers have to overcome to get to Yahweh Shah, man. All right? We have to, first and foremost, when we come up in this truth, okay, it's a process. Okay, we have to get rid of that old man. Okay, that old man that was dwelling in the world, dwelling in wickedness. Okay, then we have to start following the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. And from coming from whenever you woke up in this truth, whatever age that you started, behind that is basically the all the years that you've been dwelling in sin, man. Okay, so and it's a process. It's not an overnight thing. Okay, some brothers did more sin than others, man. Hey, I didn't, as you can see, I tatted myself up. Something that I've done in my ignorance, but ever since coming in the truth, I don't do anymore. And that's the beauty of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. He will forgive you of your sins if you acknowledge your sins and you vow not to go back or do those sins again, man. Okay, but you can't abuse that. But anyway, yeah, this truth is about denying yourselves, man, because we're coming at a point in time, aka Jacob's trouble, that hey, if you don't deny yourself, okay, you're gonna end up doing something off, and end up getting killed, either in the wilderness, in a concentration camp, and if you are that wicked, you're gonna end up dying in the lake of fire, okay, which is the punishment for taking that karagma. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna get into it, man. This is about denying yourself, man. All right, and I'm gonna start with the book of Sirach, chapter 18. Sirach, aka Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18, and verse. Yeah, verse 30. Go not after thy lust, but refrain thyself from thine appetites. Okay, so hey man, we're not supposed to go after our lust, man. We're supposed to refrain ourselves from these appetites, from our appetites, man. Okay, and first and foremost, the appetites represent anything that is not nourishing to us, anything that's outside of doing this work. Okay, your flesh all day say you wake up. All right, some brothers have to work and stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy, but what you're doing in that 24-hour span of your day is very important. All right, are you playing video games 3 hours a day? Okay, are you watching TV 4 hours a day, 3 hours a day, 2 hours a day, whatever? Okay, how much time are you really putting toward the Lord, man? And the Lord really looks at if you're being disciplined and if you are exercising that discipline to accomplish the mission, which is to do this work. Okay. Let's see now. Let me get this one real fast, and then I'll jump back to that one. This is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 14. But put ye on the Lord Yahweh Shah Hamashiach, and make not provision for the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof. So there you go, man. And I'm going to look that word provision up, okay? Because, You have to look up words to get the total understanding, man. You know, the average Jake don't know what provision means. You know, Salakia. But you can read it in context and know what it means. But let's get the definition, man. This is a dictionary of Oxford languages, and it's the word provision, the action of providing or supplying something for use, an amount or thing supplied or provided. Verb. Supply with food, drink, or equipment, especially for a journey, and set aside an amount in an organization's accounts for a known liability. Okay, so you know, hey, let's go to the Merriam Dictionary. Uh, the act or process of providing, okay, the fact or state of being prepared beforehand, a measure taken beforehand to deal with a need of contingency, a stock of needed materials or supplies, a stock of food, blah blah blah. Yeah, to supply with needed materials, to supply with provisions. So, you know, we of course that's not saying to not eat, not wash, do the things that you know your flesh provides, but needs. But that's talking about things that are worldly, things that are of the flesh. All right, watching too much TV, like I said, spending too much time with your woman, playing the video game too much. Okay, and then that's when you start to become unfruitful. All right, and you start to slack on the thing that's most important, which is doing the work. Okay, and then let's look in the Blue Letter Bible for the word provision. I think the point was made, but let's just. I want to see what the Blue Letter Bible says. Romans 13 and 14. Bear with me for a minute. All right, Blue Letter Bible. 13. Okay, and it says, that word provision is pronaya. Pronaya. All right, and it means forethought, provisional care to make provision for a thing. Okay, so yeah, basically to care for or supply. Okay, so basically don't supply your flesh with unneeded things, man. Okay, and that even goes into your diet. Okay, Jake loves to eat cheeseburgers and eat all this fried food and everything like that. But even being in this faith, man, we have to exercise some sort of discipline. You got to watch what goes into your body. You got to put more greens. Try to implement more greens in your body. Water, okay, not drinking any soda. You know, or Drake like to drink a ginger ale every now and again. That's okay, but just frivolous things that you don't even need, man. Okay, and you will see that it will make you feel better. And the ultimate goal is to the ultimate goal is to be pleasing to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. Okay, and He can't dwell in you if He'll dwell in you less if your body is polluted with all of these toxins, man. All right, when you start to clear your body out, when and fasting is very important too. When you do that, it opens up your mind and it opens up your spirit, and cleans your flesh for on a lower level, but really opens up your spirit, your lob, your mind for your house shot to come in and dwell with you, man. Okay, so yeah, let's get back into it. This is the book of. I'm gonna go back to Sirach. Okay, Sirach, aka Ecclesiasticus, chapter 18 and verse 30. Go not after thy lusts, but refrain thyself from thy appetites. If thou givest thy soul the desires that please her, she will make thee a laughing stock to thine enemies that malign thee. So there you go. And our enemies malign us all around, man. Evil E, okay? The nations, okay? And our more most formidable opponent, all right, our most formidable enemy, okay, Satan, man. All right, the spiritual demon Satan says, Satan walking about like a roaring lion, seeking to whom he may devour. Okay, so Satan's not asleep. Okay, and he's gonna use the lust of your flesh to try to get you up on out of here, man. Okay, he's gonna use your any weakness that you have. Okay, and he's gonna play on that. All right, and then like I was watching the brothers from Des Moines, these demons have different levels, man. So just like the one brother said, you deny a small demon, or I mean, well, you feed into a small demon, or you don't rebuke it or do what it takes to get it up out of here. That demon can turn into a Super Saiyan Blue demon, man. For brothers that are familiar with Dragon Ball Z or whatnot. But yeah, so you have to really rebuke these demons and rebuke the flesh, man. This is a spiritual battle, but this flesh right here is an opponent as well. And yeah, Satan works through your flesh. He can fuck with you through your flesh. So it's best to empower your spirit so you be able to tame that flesh. Like Apostle Paul said, he said, I, I I put it under subjection. I think I got it on the list. But yeah, man. So, uh, verse 32: Take not pleasure in much good cheer, neither be tied to the expense thereof. That's right. So the elders and apostles have been getting on us about not partying as much, getting out of that mirth spirit. Because we're coming into some drastic times, and it'll behoove you, especially if you're a man, to be more of a stoic individual. Okay, because we're coming upon the times where it's gonna get so drastic out here. People are gonna be falling, gonna be dying, you know, because their spirits failing. I mean, their mind failing. AKA, they're just gonna go crazy and die. They have a heart attack. Their heart's failing them for fear, like the scriptures say. So it's gonna be death all around the corner, man. All right, like the book of Amos goes into, man. Like you put your hand on the wall and a serpent bit you, or you escaped a lion and a bear met you. You know, hey man, we're coming in some drastic times, and that's why it's time to buckle down now, okay, and get ready for what's to come now, instead of being caught off guard. Okay, like you use the boxing analogy. When you boxing, you see, you threw a punch and then you see your opponent counter with a left hook. You can either slip it or brace for it. But if you don't see it and you caught out there, that's it, man. You know. So we gotta, and this is a fight. This is a fight, man. This battle is a fight, man. All right, and we gotta treat it as such. But I think that was it. Verse 33, be not made a beggar by banqueting upon borrowing, when thou hast nothing in thy purse, for thou shalt lie in wait for thine own life and be taught. So yeah, that's it right there, man. Let's go next to the book of Romans chapter 7. All right, this is the book of Romans chapter 7. And verse 23. This whole chapter is lovely, talking about the flesh, man. I'm gonna start at verse 14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal sold under sin. For that which I do, I allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that do I. So and that's Paul. He was on a high level. All right, Yahushua was coming to him personally, and he was basically like an apprentice to Yahushua, man. Like, come on, man. So that's a beautiful thing, and he had to be on a high level to for Yahushua to come sup with him like that. And he was saying that even he goes off, okay, and what he does, is basically he's attributing it to the flesh, okay. But we can't do that. We can't say, you got certain niggas that'll be like, okay, well, dang, I went off. That was the flesh. But then in their mind, they did it on purpose. Okay, no, that's talking about more over in these times Well, we going off and we don't even know it, man. And then the flesh done. Hey, it's more wicked than it was before, man. Okay, you'll end up doing something on a Shabbat, cooking food or something, and you end up, damn, you cook something on a Shabbat, and then you wasn't even thinking about it. Okay, that's what that applies to. It's not saying in your mind you do or you go ahead and voluntarily do something, and then you just chalk it up to the flesh, man. No, man, it's talking about moreover in these times when we go off by the second, man, and that's why the King David was he said and talked about presumptuous sins, that the Lord keep him away from presumptuous sins, man. Sins that you don't even know that you're doing, man. We go off by the second, we wear mixed fabrics and everything like that. Okay, something that might not say it has pork in it. All right, it has pork in it. Okay, just man, we go off, So you gotta tame this flesh, man. All right. Uh, for Salaki, verse 16. This is Romans 7:16. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more that I do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is, in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. So, like I said, man, hey, this flesh is a mug, man. All right, but we gotta, it's a motherfucker, man. All right, but we gotta constantly battle and constantly fight this thing, and we have ways to do that. Okay, Yahweh Shem Yahushua has set it up to where we have prayer, fasting. We have the scriptures themselves. The more spiritual you are, the more better it is, and the more easily you can overcome the flesh, man. Okay, can't just sit around all day and, like I said, play video games or do this or do that, and then a demon jump on you and you just rebuke it right there and it's gone. Nah, man, you got to be in the flesh, and once you slack it. See, that's the flesh right there. You got to be in the spirit, and then once them demons start coming along, it's first and foremost more easily to recognize them, and then it's more easy to rebuke them and get them up out of there, because you're being spiritual and you got the scriptures, using prayer, using fasting, and all the tools that Yahweh Shem Yahushua gave us, man. Okay. Verse 18, for I know that in me, that is the flesh, dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. Okay. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. I found in the law that I would not, that when I would do good, evil is present with me. For I delight in the law of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua after the inward man. Okay, and that spirit, the spirit, man. For I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind. Okay, your lahab, your the house of your spirit. Basically your spirit, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. And the scriptures talk about, which I can get it really fast. All right, the scriptures talk about this body being chain of darkness, man. All right, this is the book of Jude, chapter 1 and verse it's like it's the flesh right here. Sometimes, oh, here it is, verse 6. And the angels, which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he have reserved in everlasting chains under darkness, unto the judgment of the great day. Okay, and then all them angels, man, that's talking about the Alahayim. Hey, all of Israel, but so-called angels, but the Alahayim, they're in these chains of darkness. Okay, fighting. Okay, and that's a beautiful thing. I think the scriptures talk about the angels wishing that they would be able to partake in this fight. Okay, get clothed in this wicked flesh and show Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua how much they ride for them, and by combating evil, but they're programmed just to do good. Okay, which ultimately that's going to work good in our end, because dealing in this flesh and experiencing, and not just in this one incarnation. Okay, reincarnation is a real thing. So you've been in several carnations fighting evil the whole time. Okay, but this final one, because we are in the last. This is the last generation. Okay, this is the one that's gonna get shed, and when you go into that glorious body, but that's gonna make you a lowercase g God. Lord will not be a part of that number two. It's gonna make us gods, man, because we conquered the flesh just as Yahushua conquered the flesh, and he conquered death. In likewise manner, on this side, the elect are gonna do the same thing, man. Okay, so back to yeah, Romans 7. I think I'm done. Let me see. I got Romans 7. I got a last little bit to clean up on that. Yeah, um, verse 24. Oh wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me? Salaki, verse 23. But I see another law of my members, warring against the law of my mind, and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? I thank Yahweh through Yahushua Mashiach our Lord. So then, with the mind I myself serve the law of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, but with the flesh the law of sin. So that's right. So just like the elder brother, his YouTube handle is Stay in the Spirit, man. We got to stay in the Spirit, as much as possible. All right, and I mean that doesn't mean that you can't enjoy some leisure time. Okay, it's a balance. You can't just sit. It says which much studying which much studying is weariness of flesh. Roughly paraphrasing. So you're gonna have to balance this thing out. You're gonna have to relax a little bit. You're gonna have to you know I mean, if brothers, sip a little yayan or something, watch a movie. If you got family, you gotta, play with your kids a little bit. Do this, do that. You know what I'm saying? And hey, it is what it is, man. All right, but for the most part, we gotta be concentrating on doing this work, and doing the things that are that pleases Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, for that evil day, man. Yeah, the scriptures say, "Think on that evil day." All right, think on the evil that's to come into, I think that's in the Sirach 18th chapter. Let's go to moving on. Let's go to the book of First Corinthians, chapter 9, and verse 27. Shoot. Let's start at 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize. So run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Shalaka. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we are incorruptible. I therefore so run not as uncertainly, so fight I not as one that beateth the air, but I keep under my body and bring it unto subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. So, hey, you gotta exercise discipline, man. You gotta, and every brother knows their faults. Okay, you've been in your body, you've known yourself for quite a bit of time by now. Your weaknesses. All right, you know your strengths as well, but you know your weaknesses, and I'm focusing on the weaknesses right now because you got to conquer the weaknesses to get to the strengths. All right, so if you do too much of this, bam, you can't just take a sip. All right, you gotta, what I'm saying, drink. All right, hey, it's certain. Everybody has their vices. Okay, but we gotta keep it under control. All right, before the Lord uses that to judge your ass, man. Okay, and that's real talk, man. I'm speaking first and foremost to myself because I know I have vices, and I know that I'm working on them as we speak. As I'm talking to you right now. All right, working on my vices because it's an everyday thing. You can't just wake up and say, "Oh, well, I'm perfect." Nah, man, ain't none of us perfect. So we gotta keep fighting and keep working on the things every day, and part of that is discipline. Okay, the root word of disciple is discipline. Okay, and you gotta exercise discipline, man. All right, you know. Matthew 16:24. All right, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 24. Uh, Then said Yahushua to his disciples, if any man will come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. So that's part of denying. I mean, that's discipline is part of denying yourself, man. All right. Hey, and even on lower levels, man, like I talked about what I was speaking on earlier. Try to change your diet, try to eat better, man. Okay, and try to be disciplined. All right, you got to eat every time you're hungry. Okay, and some brothers get more hungry than others, but hey, sometimes, man, just if you think you that hungry, go drink some water. All right, and you can see it might dissipate when you drink water. Okay, because I mean, to each his own, man. But for the most part, man, we gotta try to the best of our ability, okay, through the spirit and power of the Lord, to actually try to take care of our temple to the best of our ability, man. Even though we're over here, eating our bread defiled amongst the heathen. All right, everything that we pretty much, most things that we pretty much touch is tainted, man. All right, sacrifice to other gods, with mystery ingredients, chemicals, and all type of stuff. But that's why it's very important to pray, because Yahweh Bashem Yahushua knew that we were going to be in this predicament. But he also honors, if knowing that we're in this worst case scenario, that we're trying to the best of our ability to eat right or do, it's like, yeah, trying to the best of our ability to eat right or eat to the best, eat right to the best of our ability, man. Okay. It's like, yeah, and he honors that, and that's why prayer is a good thing as well, man. Okay. Now let's move on to the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 6. This whole chapter is good, man. Romans 8:5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. So hey, for the most part, you gotta stay focused, stay in the spirit. But to be carnal is death, man, and it's leads to the ultimate death, which is taking that karagma, taking that sihip, okay, and just because you want to be a part of the society, or you want to eat, or you want to do this, or you don't want to die, I say it lightly, but or you don't want to die, and you're gonna end up dying anyway in worse fashion, okay, but for being carnal, all right, and it goes back to Esau, man, when he gave up his blessing, okay, because he was carnal, all right, he couldn't wait, till the food was finished. Okay, he went and did what he did, okay, and look where it got him, okay. Ultimately, well, the birthright was for us anyway, from the beginning, but hey, we can still chalk it up to Esau. He did that, and that's why he's in that predicament, man. But yeah, you can't be carnal, man. You got to exercise discipline, and it's gonna work. It's gonna work best for you, man. I know it doesn't feel good, okay. Just like the analogy of working out. It doesn't feel good, either if you wake up early, or even if you don't have to wake up early and you go to the gym, or you're running, and you feeling your kidneys tighten up, your lungs are burning, your legs are burning, and you got a mile to go, 0.5 to go, whatever, or you hurting out the gate, okay. But you push through it, you coach yourself, talk to yourself, okay, and then once you get done with it, you feel fulfilled. Okay, you almost didn't even go, but then once you go, those sometimes be the best workouts when you don't feel like working out at all. But then you force yourself to get up and do it, and then after you got a good workout, and even on top of that, you conquered your mind from allowing you not allowing you to you conquered your mind from denying you of going to get that work in, man. So it's a beautiful thing. Verse 7, because the carnal mind is enmity uh, against Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, for it is not subject to the law of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So you can't be in the flesh and please Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. And most of you can't be in this world because this flesh is like tied to this world, to the spirit of this world. Okay, everything that's said before you, food, circus, hey man, this whole society pushes sex and food. That's like the two main things that people, sex and food and entertainment. Okay, and that's all carnal stuff, man. Okay, I mean, of course, you got a lady, you got to do what you got to do. But hey, man, some brothers are spiritual units in this thing, man. Some brothers, hey, and that's a beautiful thing. And then, some brothers are bishops, that one wife, okay, and you just gotta exercise discipline. I don't mean to go off into that subject, but you gotta exercise discipline for the most part, man. Okay, that's with everything. You gotta be scriptures say being temperate in all things, man. Okay, 8. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So you can't be of the flesh and please the Lord, man. Okay. We're gonna move on to the book of Galatians, chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 16. Then I say, this I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So you gotta walk in the spirit, man. All right, walk in the spirit. Man, that's a good YouTube channel name, man. I might change my name to that. MOV, Walk in the Spirit. Walk in the Spirit 777. But anyway, yeah, man. This you gotta Oh, that's beautiful, man. Yeah, I might do that. Verse Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. Then I say, this I say, then walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. So the more things that you're doing for your spirit, you're going to be able to cut that flesh off and overcome that flesh. Okay? You start, reading more, doing more lessons, listening to more videos, praying, fasting, being with the brotherhood. And naturally, the things of the flesh is just going to wither away. You're not even going to have desires to do things of the flesh, man. Okay, but on the flip side, the more that you do things that are of the flesh, your spirit is going to suffer. The spiritual things are going to suffer. You're spending too much time with your woman. You're lounging too much. You're playing the video game too much, watching too much TV, eating too much. Okay, scripture talk about denying your belly, man. Okay, so man, you gotta be. It's a multifaceted thing, man. Being spiritual and fighting the flesh. It tells a lot of things. Galatians chapter 5 and verse. Verse 17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these that are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that ye would. But if you be led of the spirit, you are not under the law, man. So there you go. You have to, you're not under the law as per facing the death that comes with not being able to follow the laws, statutes, commandments, 100%. Okay, like everybody in the world. But if you're in the spirit, the elect are under the spirit, and the elect are under the blood of Yahushua, which includes grace, which is great. We're in a grace and a mercy period right now, man. The gap between the first covenant and the second covenant is grace, that mercy, man. Grace and mercy, all right, which Yahushua with his blood bought us some time. Bought us life in between those gaps. between that gap. So yeah, hey man, gotta stay spiritual in this thing, man. Um, Romans 6:12. This is the book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse 12. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye shall obey it in the lust thereof. So there you go, and your flesh, your flesh is gonna want to do some crazy things, man. Okay, you're gonna get some thoughts that that's off, that you gotta rebuke right away. But if you are following the lust of the flesh, hey, you gonna succumb to that, man. You got dudes that smoke cigarettes and went back to their old lives just because they didn't rebuke that demon, and that demon got to them, and it kept snowballing and snowballing until that big dog demon. It's like that big dog demon jumped on them, and they couldn't even shake it. And now they're back in the world, man. Doing, hey, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai knows what, you know? So, man, hey, you gotta fight this flesh, man. You know? Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto the Most High as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. There you go. Now, I just wanted to read that because that substantiated my point, my last point. I got a couple more. I'm gonna wrap this up. This is the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 7, and I'm gonna go to you know what? I don't know what that was. Sometimes you make a note, and yeah, and ultimately I'm gonna end it on this since we're in the book of Matthew, man. You know, uh, ultimately, and it's time to come. Okay, Jacob's trouble. All right, we're gonna of course, it's going to be ultimately the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and the spirit that he's going to put on certain individuals to overcome certain things. But like I always say, through the spirit, the Lord looks at an act. He looks at the action that you do to inquire things of the spirit. Okay, like fasting is a physical thing. You deny yourself food and water, of course, but then the spiritual gifts come after that. Okay, praying. You pray, okay. You go in your closet, you get down on your knees, you get down on your face, however you decide to pray, okay. And that's a physical thing because you're exerting energy and you're asking the Lord and you're having faith that it's gonna get completed and that it's going somewhere and that it's actually going to the Lord. And then the spiritual thing comes after that. So the Lord does things like in a binary fashion, the flesh, the spirit, or an action, and then the spiritual connotation of it, man. So hey, if we deny ourselves now, okay, when that time comes, we'll be more equipped to be able to endure, okay. And that goes with the eating too, being more disciplined in our diets, okay, because it's gonna come a time where food is gonna be scarce in Jacob's trouble, and you're gonna be presented with. It's lucky you very well might present it with some abomination, all right, with some pork, but what you going or whatever. It might be some possum or something, some type of meat, some animal, all right, and it's off. Something that's not meant to be eaten, okay. But your hungry ass, you used to eating 7 meals a day with snacks in between, all right. Hey, you gonna end up you look at your kids sideways if if you that hungry, man. You start sweating and they start sweating and glistening, Like, you know what I'm saying? And you hungry, you ain't eating days. Hey man, but that's gonna come without this. I mean that comes. You have to be disciplined, man, in that day, man. Okay, especially us that's serving the Lord, because hey, you might be in the wilderness, might be in a concentration camp, might not have eaten, but then you got to pray to the Lord and just have discipline. First and foremost, not to eat anything that just cross your path, but to wait on the Lord. Okay, hey, he might present a full buffet to you, or you know, just as Elijah, the ravens drop those their food um by the brook for him, man. He had faith in the Lord. Okay, that the Lord is gonna feed him. The Lord fed him and had a brook to where he had fresh water. So we got to do that same thing and have that equip ourselves with that same faith. Especially going into the times that we're going in, man. So this is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 37. But as in the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day Noah entered into the ark. Just having a good old merry time. Okay, while Noah was there building, okay, getting that ark ready, okay, for him and his family and those animals, okay, so he can survive the flood. You had people doing the lust of their flesh, even back then. And how much more now? We're in the spiritual days of Noah's ark. Okay? And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So, amen. We gotta equip ourselves with pray to the Lord for discipline. All right, and actually exercise discipline, man. Okay, so that when that terrible day of Jacob's trouble comes, we're not caught off guard, so to say, or caught lacking. Okay, so I mean, it starts now while we're in our luxury, while we're in leisure time. Okay, thinking upon these things, meditating upon these things, and exercising these things, man. Especially discipline. So, Lord willing, that was edifying, giving our honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rechaha, Gwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders, the great millstone who rule well. Peace, love, salutations, blessings to the Lord's elect. Shalom.